Welcome to the real world. This is your host Almas Haider Naqvi. Pakistan hosted this month an unprecedented coordinated meeting of spy chiefs from Russia, China, and Iran to discuss counterterrorism cooperation, with particular focus on the build-up of Islamic State in turmoil-hit Afghanistan. Is this a tactical move or well-thought strategic alignment in the region against IS? To discuss this emerging coordinated security structure to deal with the IS, today we have with us Mr. Faisal Khan. He is a senior journalist and geopolitical analyst. Welcome, Mr. Faisal.
Thank you. Great.
Faisal, what this development mean for Afghan peace?
I think you just know that it's a very important, vital meeting, and it was the first ever initiative taken by Pakistan, particularly its intelligence agency and the government, because you know that Afghan peace is basically very important, and it's a backbone for the regional peace initiatives. When you want to have regional trade, regional connectivity, regional integration, that is very important, that Afghanistan must be peaceful and stable. And for that peace and stability, Pakistan is striving for that peace and stability from the last many years. And now the regional countries have the urge to have peace in Afghanistan because their stakes are involved in Afghanistan. Might be they have different interests, like if the 4 spy agencies gathered together here in Islamabad, but Iran, China and Russia, all three have different stakes, including Pakistan has some different aspects of Afghan peace. But this is the main core agenda, that there should be peace and stability in Afghanistan, and for that it's an important initiative. And when there was a space after United States just exited from the quadrilateral process of China, Pakistan, Afghanistan and US, there was a space in between, and to fill that space, I think it's a great initiative not only by Pakistan but also participation from China, Iran and Russia is an important sign for peace in Afghanistan, and it's a tactical move, a technical move as well, but along with that it's a great initiative for having peace in Afghanistan, really.
Mr. Faisal, development took place in Islamabad, but the news was come out from Russian capital Moscow. What do you think about that? Shouldn't be from Pakistan?
I think so. It's an unfortunate thing at the part of Pakistan. Pakistan has to own this meeting. Pakistan has to, if they have taken an initiative, an important initiative which Pakistan has taken, they have to go out and say that yes, we have taken this initiative and this is for Afghanistan, this is for regional peace, and we are striving for that, and the intelligence agencies gathered for that, and they have to a meager press release has nothing to do with, but that will credit Pakistan, that will show that how Pakistan is serious in regional peace and stability. But unfortunately that was straight away came out from Moscow, and most of the people were sending emails and texts to the spokesperson of the Russian Foreign Office rather than to the Pakistani Foreign Office. And when that question was raised in the last briefing in the Foreign Office, a spokesperson has the view that he don't know about the meeting. And there was again, it shows that there should be some sort of trust deficit between civil and military area, where the civil and military bureaucracy are not at one page. So this is really I think so this is a flaw at the Pakistan's policy level. Pakistan has to think about it, the government has to think about it, and that was a great initiative. You know that this is the first ever thing happened, and this has given a great confidence to the regional countries.
Mr. Faisal, come on the emergence of Daesh in Afghanistan. A former Afghan president, Hamid Karzai, is skeptical about the emergence of Daesh in the presence of U.S. Intelligence community, their forces, ISAF forces, and NATO forces. What do you think about this?
I think so. This is not only the concern of Mr. Karzai, the former president, but also the concern of Pakistan as well. That what Daesh is doing over there, when the NATO is there, when the NATO Resolute Support Mission is there, when the active operations are going on, the spy operations, the drone operations are going on, and that is controlled by CIA. When the American forces, the American boots are there, what they are doing to tackle this menace of terrorism, particularly Daesh, and Daesh is taking root continuously in Afghanistan, particularly when we have seen that something happened in Mosul in Iraq. They were defeated over there, then afterwards we have seen that they were pulled out from Syria, but they are straight away coming in Afghanistan. How they are coming? Because this is a main question, because in Middle East, when Daesh is just pulling out from there, and Afghanistan is not an isolated territory, they have to go through Pakistan or Iran or any other territory from Central Asia or Russia or from China, from where they are coming. It means that there is some backing to Daesh, and Russians have made it clear most of the times.
Faisal, there are multiple actors who have monopoly over the violence. How Afghan government and the regional country can cope up with this kind of situation?
Actually, it's a very complex situation. Every country has its own interest in Afghanistan, or some sort of maligned interest even. That when we are talking about United States, they might want peace in Afghanistan, might want peace. But I'm not too sure about it, that whether they want peace in Afghanistan or not. Because right now the Trump administration's view about Afghanistan, the reconciliation process, talks with Taliban, how to tackle Taliban and insurgents, their strategy towards Daesh, then development of Afghanistan and cooperation with the regional countries. It seems to be very hazy rather than to be very transparent. So it's unfortunate that they have to come up clean regarding all these aspects, and then the regional countries have to be very enthusiastic about, not only enthusiastic, they have to be very sincere in their approach to have peace in Afghanistan. Otherwise, it would be impossible to have peace there.
You exactly pointed out the sincerity that lacks in an entire peace process. Mr. Faisal, as you know, there are a lot of structures available. Quadrilateral US-led coordinated structure is there. The trilateral Pakistan, China, Afghanistan. There is another military coordinated structure exists there. SCO RATS. What went wrong? What is missing in all process?
I have already mentioned that it's the sincerity which is missing basically. It is not much to do really, because you have lots of structures, you are making lots of one, and might be there would be another one which was already existing earlier on, but the trilateral mechanism between Pakistan, Afghanistan and Turkey, it is going to be revived soon. Might be there would be a quadrilateral group of Turkey, Iran, Pakistan and Afghanistan but this is not basically the question that how many groups we have and how they are going to tackle. They are working in different lines, they don't have any coordination among them, and they need particularly that what Afghanistan need right now. Afghanistan need that there should be a reconciliation and talks, negotiations between Taliban and the government. How to have ceasefire there, how to tackle Daesh, how to develop Afghanistan, how to fund Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is in deficit. So there are lots of problems for Afghanistan. So we have to be focused on Afghanistan.
Yes, everybody supports Afghan own peace process. President Ghani announced a peace initiative, but the Taliban never responded positively. What do you think about it?
I think so. Taliban has responded bit positively, and what we have seen during the Eid holidays, there was a bit of sigh of relief for the Afghan people in terms of ceasefire by Taliban when Dr. Ashraf Ghani has offered that in a peace conference first. Secondly, then afterwards there was a sheer violence again started in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, there was lots of suicide attacks and terrorism in Afghanistan. For that, we are really sorry for that. But the thing is that Taliban has to be a bit flexible in their approach as well. Afghan government has to be flexible in that. First of all, they have to engage. I think so when they engage, regional countries will come together and they will support them. And if Russia, any other country has any sort of leverage towards Taliban, China, Pakistan, Iran, they have to come together. They have to use their quarters, their best sources, and they have to create some atmosphere where Taliban comes straight away at the negotiating table, and they have to facilitate it. Whether they are the part of that negotiation or not, that is not important. That is more important. The Taliban must have to come at the negotiating table with Afghan government, and there should be some sort of peace initiatives actually starts there.
We are discussing emergence of Daesh in Afghanistan and implication on the regional security. Mr. Faisal, Pakistan is also engaged with the Afghan government. What do you think? What are the outcomes of that engagement?
First of all, I'll start with the quadrilateral spy meeting which held in Pakistan. It was a great initiative. It will give boost and confidence to Afghan government as well. And this was basically an initial meeting, the first initiative to tackle Daesh and terrorism in Afghanistan and in the region. So it means that there would be intelligence information exchange, coordination, cooperation among different intelligence quarters along with the military aspect as well. Secondly, Pakistan and Afghanistan has bilateral engagements. There are a lot more things, but the more positive and confident thing is Afghanistan-Pakistan action plan for peace and solidarity. That is an important backbone to Pakistan-Afghanistan bilateral engagement. And 7 of its points are very elaborated, very explanative, and very comprehensive, I think. 6 of the working groups out of that, 4 are already formed. The liaison officers at the brigadier level, that is going to be appointed in Kabul and Islamabad simultaneously to coordinate regarding the terrorism surge and operations. Then there is a information exchange between the I'm so sorry. There is an information exchange at the border level. The border establishments, the forces, the officers, they are exchanging information among, they have the flag meetings with each other. There is going to be the hotline between the military and military people. So there are lots more initiatives. Then you have...
Mr. Faisal, is a very positive development for Afghanistan peace. But without United States, inclusion of United States into that mechanism, do you think you can achieve your goals, peace in Afghanistan?
It's unfortunate that it was not basically the initiative from Pakistan or any other regional country that United States pulled out of this process, the peace process. United States has its own interests and they have their own, their own will that they go out of the process, and they were time and again striking this process. Now they have offered.
Mr. Faisal, very short and brief. There is a competition between Daesh and Taliban in Afghanistan. Who is taking the ground?
I think so. This is not much important that who is taking ground, because Daesh is taking ground by some of the background they have, some of the support they have. But if there would be, I'm optimistic that if there would be any sort of peace and reconciliation between Taliban and the Afghan government, and there would be, they are going to join hands among each other, then it would be really difficult for Daesh to take ground, because Taliban would be against them, Afghan government would be against them, and the region is already against them. So I think so that it would be very difficult for Daesh to stay there. And for that, United States has to come very sincerely. All the regional countries has to put their part, and Pakistan has to be more sincere with Afghanistan regarding trade, commerce, people-to-people contacts, and all other aspects.
Yes,
so
you have rightly mentioned about the sincerity and trust is vital for any durable solution for Afghan peace. Thank you very much, Mr. Faisal, for being with us today. There are several multilateral structures existing and working for Afghan peace, including US-led coordinator group, Heart of Asia, Istanbul Process, Pakistan, China, Afghanistan Trilateral Forum, military group Afghanistan, China, and Tajikistan, SCO RATS. To what extent new quadrilateral mechanism would work, only time will prove. This is all from the real world. Keep watching dptv.live. Take care.